If, just out of curiosity, why is it, since we're Candia and Auburn and hooks it all under one roof under the SAU, why is there such disparity between the application of the contract in regards to how kids are sent out? And why can't there be continuity? And why don't the boards come together in order to hammer out these things so that there's uniformity, so we don't read in the paper that 7 students got a ride to one place while we're getting the, I guess, the most restrictive type of application possible. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Georgette Peltak. In relation to what you just said, I guess I have a question. As the superintendent to all three, or the SAU to all 3 towns, if, this is just if, Bow or Pinkerton approached us about going to the high school, is it the board that makes that decision? I know Auburn voted to send their kids there, but would it be the board to say, yes, let's bring this to the public, or no, we don't even want to bring it to the public? So bear with my ignorance. That's my question.
I just have one question for Dr. Littlefield. I have to say, Dr. Littlefield, I 1000% agree with you with the examples that you gave for Auburn and the suggestions that you might have made there. If Hooksett decided to look 4.5 years forward and look at some of the surrounding schools for what I would almost refer to as an alternative contract to get started like they did with Pinkerton and Auburn, is there any ramifications that we would need to be aware of from Manchester to do that? Is there any problem with layering? So, in other words, we could not go in and negotiate with a Pinkerton or a Bow or a Pembroke that when our notice is up with Manchester, we could go there, but we couldn't start putting kids in. For example, this year, Auburn's put 70 kids into Pinkerton, but the contract really doesn't go into place until September 1st of 13.
Yes, and I'm I got a little emotional the last time I just spoke a couple of minutes ago. It's emotional issues. Each one of us are very concerned about what goes on with the kids. It gets emotional, so I want to forgive me for being emotional because this is certainly an emotional issue. The other question is, which was posed last time, regarding concerns with meeting ADA compliances. Do you have an answer to that? Because certainly being concerned about ADA requirements, there was a concern that a person who was hard of hearing was given an absurd comment, or hopefully it wasn't absurd. Was that taken care of and everything is fine with that person who had that issue?
Tom was on 21 Post Road. With all the discussion that's taken place, it sounds like that there's compromise, and I'll let Dr. Littlefield talk about a rational decision, decisions that could be made going into the future. One of the things, if you guys are going to look at the policy, I would like to hope that you would take it from the standpoint of the least restrictive, which protects our interest in regards to legal liability, protects our interest in regards to the contract, but looks for the most minimalist standards. And I understand that you could have a mass exodus or something like that, and I understand you're going to need to moderate that in some way. But I think a more open dialogue would, because when I looked at the numbers, Dr. Littlefield provided me with all the numbers, I think someone mentioned there's an increase in people going to private schools at a faster rate than there is actually people applying to this. And over that 8-year period, or from 2003, I think it was a regression to the mean. It just oscillated about 25 students down to 17. I think last year it was 25, and then all of a sudden this year was an uptick. And then when you weigh that against student populations, the student populations kind of went up in a couple of bubbles here and there. But the reality of it is I don't think parents have abused the process in any way. Not to say you guys have said that, but the numbers look like there's a certain outlet there dealing maybe perceptions of Manchester schools. But I'd hope that you would look at this policy from the standpoint of the least you can do and still meet the criteria of the contract, not the most extreme in regards to educational hardship or manifest educational hardship. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dale Almond. I currently have 2 students that attend Manchester High School, and I wanted to know if there's a time where anyone was going to talk about the changes that are going on in the high schools, because I've been reading in the Union Leader and hearing from different things going on in Manchester that there are going to be changes, such as making the School of Technology into a 4-year high school, and I'm wondering if the board knows any information about that that you could tell us that currently have students in Manchester, but what the changes are and how they're going to affect our kids.
Tracy Huffy again. I want to say thank you for recognizing that the policy needs to be looked at, but I also want to let you know that it's a timely issue. It's March. How much time is this going to take you to review the policy? You have to read it twice, then you have to adopt it. So I want you to look at the time of this. I have an 8th grader who was approved in October. It's now March. He needs to know where he's going to high school. But I also wanted to know, Becky, if this is when I make my motion to ask one of the school board members to rescind that policy, JCB. Well, I just wanted to ask one of the school board members to make the motion to rescind the JCB policy and revert back to the old policy where the children were allowed to go to school out of district, based on the time frame of our 8th graders who need to know where they're going in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you.